live. Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's show. This is episode number 86 of the Daytripper Photo Show. My name is Brian Weiss. I'm the guy that kind of put all this whole Daytripper Photo thing together. We've been doing it for quite a while. With me tonight is my buddy Darren Gahan. Unfortunately, Gabriel's not with us again tonight. But Darren, how's your week been?
I've had, it's been a busy week. It's been a busy last couple of weeks. It's just the days fly by. It's like, it's the end of May already? Holy cow.
I know. And for a change, you've been busy with photography.
Yeah, I've been busy, all kinds of photography, actually. In addition to, you know, getting plastered at the cottage and getting nailed at the cottage and things to do with renovating and plastering. And, of course, we're talking drywall plaster. We're talking hammer and nailing.
I should actually clarify that. We get a text from Darren saying that he got plastered and had his license revoked. And
well, the license revoked. I was just having fun because my uncle gave me heck because when I was taping a seam, you put the plaster on. There's this wide area, and the tape sort of ran down, so it wasn't covering the seam. When I went to paint the wall, it cracked, and I couldn't understand why it was cracking, so I put some more plaster on it. Then it cracked again, and I could see the edge of the wall. It's in a door frame. And I looked at the tape, and I could see the tape was here, and the seam is here. I went, oh, no. So I told my stepdad about that, and he says, I'm taking away your license. You can't plaster anymore. And then I showed him how I fixed it, and he says, okay, you can have it back.
That's certainly not how we heard the story originally. So we're all getting worried about Darren has a drinking problem and this and that. So. But luckily, you are just fine to drive. And hey, Kathleen, how you doing? Thanks for watching the show tonight. Where is everyone? I'd like to know that as well. I think people are just starting to catch on to the show being on. And I'm putting a couple more links out there so the world can know that we're live. And join in the Q&A like Kathleen just did. It's a lot of fun. And you can get your questions answered right away. And, you know, we all have questions. Have you got questions, Darren?
Nope. Bob found us, so all's good in the world now.
As long as Bob finds us, we're all good. That's great. Hi, Bob. Okay, so the show is on Photowalks, and that's one of the things Darren's actually done this past week. He went to the Peterborough Photowalk.
I did so.
How did that all come about? What happened there?
I saw a link for it somewhere in one of the communities. I'm not sure whether it was through Ron Clifford or it was through Blake. It might have been through Ron Clifford. And it was a Peterborough photo walk. My cottage is up near there, so I thought, what the heck? I'll go out on a Sunday and do a photo walk. And then somebody wanted me to shoot a cottage, so I went, oh, okay, that sort of, you know, makes a day of photography instead of a day of work. And it was great. It was a lot of fun. I got to go to the Peterborough lift lock again. The last time I was there was pre-digital.
Nice. It's a really cool place. There's been a lot of photos posted to our community from there, and we're going to talk about a few of those tonight. What was your favorite moment about your photo walk, and why did you choose to go on a photo walk, since that's the topic of the show?
I was kind of curious to see how somebody else would do it and what their take on a photo walk was, and to see if I was kind of understanding what it was all about. And it was exactly as I had suspected it was. Gary was sort of talked into doing it by Ron, I guess, because Gary lives out in Peterborough. So I take it some of the back channel talk. Ron Clifford unfortunately wasn't able to make it. I think his father-in-law passed away.
Oh, that's too bad.
And the service was on Sunday, so he wasn't able to make it. But I think he pushed Gary into, and you know, well, just go ahead and volunteer. It's not hard.
Well, you know, Ron's done a few photo walks in the past. I know I did the Scott Kelby photo walk back in 2009, I believe, 2010, something like that.
And you did the walk, or you led the walk?
I led the walk.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard about the Scott Kelby photo walk one year, and I thought, man, this sounds like a great opportunity to get out there and meet some new people in the area. And since I was running Daytripper at the time, I figured it was a nice way to, you know, get Daytripper out there as well. So I led the photo walk, and it rained, and it poured. Actually, that's where I met Ron for the first time, Ron Clifford. Quite a few other people came on that photo walk as well, Tom Smith, and some amazing people that I still keep in touch with today. Unfortunately, it did rain really hard. We went to Cachet Restaurant on Main Street, Newmarket, for our dinner afterward. Had a great time, met some great people, and had some, you know, actually, when we were at Cachet, one of the ladies there was visiting from BC or something like that, and they talked about Daytripper for some reason, and next thing you know, one of those folks is coming on day trips. So you just never know where you're going to meet cool people. And Photowalks are great for that.
Yeah, I did the Scott Kelby photo walk last year up in Keswick, and I learned a little bit more about municipal politics.
Well, yeah, I guess when you're making the planning for all these things, you have to do quite a bit of checking, and you hear a lot of things that don't actually come to fruition.
You know, you figure 6 weeks out, you should be okay to ask for permission for something and get an answer back in time. And it was down to the wire before finally they said, basically they kiboshed it and said no. And then when I, said, well, I know I could have talked to a couple of counselors, got hold of some people, got the keys to get in. I could have made it work if I really, forced it. But it shouldn't have to be that way.
Well, no, you shouldn't have to, especially for something as safe, I guess you can say. It's not like it's a bunch of hooligans and hoodlums. I'm talking about SCTV days. Hey, hoodlum!
It would have been a great news story. Would have helped promote the Georgina Historic Pioneer Village, to bring more, attention and notoriety to it, to bring more people, in the summertime. Hey, look at these cool photos. Yeah, we got to check that out next year.
Yeah, really, because this is a place that people, they pay to go there, right? So.
And, all over the world. So if someone is traveling and they're going to be coming up in the northern Ontario, or I guess north of Toronto area, Lake Simcoe area, because it's a worldwide photo walk, you're getting worldwide recognition. And some people may say, hey, I'd like to stop in and see that place. That looks pretty cool. Go see some history. However.
Well, I guess I didn't see it that way. I just want to say hello to Mark Flinders. Thank you for watching tonight. You're watching from Cochrane, Ontario. Wow. Mark is all over the place. I don't just mean like emotionally. I mean, he just travels everywhere. He catches our show every week. So awesome. Thank you, sir.
I didn't know they had the internet up there.
Well, he must be doing something right, because there he is. Okay.
Hey Mabel, plug it in again.
Spark up the hamsters. Sorry to all you folks up in Cochrane watching our show right now. All one of you. All right. So, Squirrel. Yeah, just had to get that out of the way. So, tonight's show, Photowalks. Why? What's the point? Why go on a photo walk? Oh, before we get to this meat and potatoes, the meat and potatoes, I always have to say it twice. I should just mention to folks watching the show, if you enjoy our show and you're watching on YouTube after the fact, please click like, subscribe, and if you're watching it live, tell your friends. If you have a friend that likes photography and you think they'd enjoy the goofiness that we are and maybe get something out of our show, then tell them about it. Maybe they can watch it as well. Lots of cool things that we do. And join the community as well. If you're watching and you haven't already, the Daytripper Photo community on Google Plus is a lot of fun. There's some really great people and amazing photographers. Darren, I was going through our YouTube page and I was looking at all the thumbnails. And for the past little while, since we started this photo challenge, I've been taking the winner of the photo challenge and putting it as the thumbnail for the videos. I was going back and I was just looking at all the thumbnails from all the videos, and oh my God, the quality of photos! It makes our show look so good, seeing these amazing photos that won these photo challenges as the thumbnails for all of them. So, well done to everybody who's been posting. And if you haven't seen it, check out our YouTube page and check out all the thumbnails, and you'll see your photo if you were the winner of any of our weekly challenges. Yeah, what is this? Oh, Mark, he hijacked the polar bear's Wi-Fi. When I was a kid, polar bears didn't have Wi-Fi. I had to walk to school on my knees when I was a kid, and now polar bears have Wi-Fi? I mean, come on. That's just...
Yeah, but you can count the number of polar bears, on your hands and toes, and they all have tracking collars which are hooked up to satellite uplinks. So, yeah, just tame the polar bear and go at it.
Maybe there's a MacGyver polar bear out there that's rigging up their doings. Shelley from the other room yells out to me, bad humor. So I guess the bad humor alert warning just took out. Anywho, Julie, Photo Day Around the World 2014. Photo Walk is happening this Saturday in Toronto. Cool. The event's posted on G+ for those who are interested. Check that out, people. Photo Day Around the World 2014. It's a photo walk happening this Saturday in Toronto. Also happening this Saturday in Newmarket is the Run, Walk, and Roll event, which a bunch of people from the Daytripper community will be photographing as a charity thing, because we do that. If there's a local charity, let us know. Maybe some people in our community would like to shoot that for you. So this Saturday, the Run, Walk, and Roll. going to be a lot of fun right at Fairy Lake, and it's going to be for a great cause, spinal cord injury. And it's last year they raised enough money to get one of those hoists so they can get some different exercise for one of the or several of their patients there who has spinal cord injury. So excellent cause.
One of my real estate agents that I work with, he most of his listings are wheelchair accessible places where he's buying and selling for people that need accessibility, elevators and walk through or roll under kitchen cupboards and roll under bathroom cupboards. Jeffrey Kerr, if anyone is looking for, or they need that type of a property, he's probably the guy to go see.
Very cool.
That's in his territory.
Jeffrey Kerr, right?
Yeah, Jeffrey Kerr. info@thelandfinder.com, I think is how you'd find him.
Very good. Thank you for mentioning that. Blake asks us if he says he's late getting in, did we poison Gabriel again?
Yes, we did.
Yes. It says, yes, he shoots cannon, but there's really no reason to poison him. I agree with that. I don't think we have any reason to poison Gabriel. In fact, what happened was there was some news. He was trying to buy a home, and he had some issues with that home, and he's right now taking care of it, that all stuff. So, Gabriel,
but he still has a home.
He is in a home. He's
not homeless.
Not a special home, just like a normal home that he could live in with his wife and his young son, and they're awesome. But hopefully they'll be back next week, or at least Gabriel will. His wife and son could stay home. They don't need to be on the show.
Maybe we could have them on the show. That'd be kind of cool.
I think Jaden would be a good guest. Very good guest. Trish as well. No offense. Anyway, okay, guys. So let's get to our show. The casual conversation that we're going to have about this topic should be a lot of fun. And if anybody has any points to make, please chime in on the Q&A and make those points. It doesn't have to be a question. It could be a statement. So, Darren, what is the point of a photo walk?
Well, this is a photo of Gary. He was the gentleman who organized our photo walk in Peterborough. He lives in Peterborough. And I believe the idea of a photo walk is just like saying to a bunch of people, hey, you want to go sit out, hang out at Tim Hortons for a couple hours and chat about knitting if you're a bunch of knitters, or crocheting if you're a bunch of hookers, or
hookers.
Crocheting, hooking. My dad always used to comment on that, call my mom the happy hooker.
Oh my lord. I'm sure she loved that.
Yeah, I'm sure she did. My mom was a hooker. Take it for what it's worth. Sorry, Mom.
Squirrel.
But it's just a bunch of people getting together to do something that they all like. It doesn't have to be well organized. Gary had picked out a route, and he tried to time it pretty well. For the most part, it did time out well. There's always little things that happen. People show up a little bit late if they're coming from out of town, and you get sidetracked, go a little slower. You see a group of geese or ducks or something, it takes you off track a little bit. But for the most part, we were on schedule. I was only a little concerned because I had to go shoot another property afterwards, but I made it. Everything worked out.
Good.
So
good.
It was just a lot of fun. There's a lot of people doing photo walks every once in a while.
Now, is a photo walk a place like, say, for example, we do Daytripper Photo, and we're out on a nature walk, and we're showing people how to do everything they want to do. We have lenses for people to try. It's a learning experience. Is a photo walk like that, or is it more of a casual hanging out with people?
No, I guess a photo walk can be that. If anybody runs into a problem, they can surely, ask somebody, hey, by the way, I'm running into this problem. Can you help me out? I think there was some help going on back and forth. I know that Marjorie brought her daughter along, and she had a D7DS camera, and she wanted to know how you could change the ISO on the camera, and I showed her, the quick shortcut button on the back, push and hold this, and turn the back wheel, and you can change your ISO on the fly without having to go into the menu. So, she learned a couple things about the camera.
Well, that's good. So there's a lot that can be had from hanging out with another bunch of photographers. What are some of the photo walk opportunities that you've seen? Like, obviously, you talked about how you did the Kelby Walk and you tried to do it at Pioneer Village, but what are some of the other ones that you've seen?
I've seen a couple of people do them. I haven't really paid that much attention to any of them. The Peterborough one, apart from the Scott Kelby ones, is the only one that I've gone on. And it's fun. Someone just comes up with a route, and a bunch of people go and they walk the route.
So it's all predetermined. People pick a certain area they want to go to, and everybody kind of meets at a certain time and does their thing. Now, I've also heard of this thing called the drink and click. Is that what it's called?
Could
Click
be.
and drink? Hey?
Where they go bar hopping from bar to bar and take photos?
No, it's like, it's like a photo walk, but they end up at a bar and they end up having some drinks. And I guess ultimately the point is, if you have a bunch of friends or even people through a community that you think you'd like to go on a shoot with, plan a route, post the time and day, and tell people to meet you there. And it can be a lot of fun. Drink and click is a big one on Google+. Thank you, Blake. Drink and click.
Forget that. Forget that clicking is too much work.
Just end up drinking. That would be great. And Rod, you're diehard, man. You almost forgot. Too much into the LA-Chicago game. 4-3 LA, by the way. Looking forward to the photo walk talk. Well, I hope we don't disappoint you, because it's a lot to live up to now.
From listening and talking to some of the people that I was talking to on the photo walk, everybody's perception of what's normal, right, is based on what they know, right? So people in downtown Toronto, their idea of a photo walk is to walk in a downtown core. I live up here in the boonies in Keswick, and there really is no downtown core. There is no historic district of Keswick
that you can go walking around at no frills.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a couple of old houses, through the older part of town, and that's kind of it. In Newmarket, at least there's the old Main Street area that you can walk down, but 20 minutes and you're done.
Yeah.
Unless you go into Fairy Lake. And in the rural areas, it's harder and harder to find a walk. Now, you could do a nature trail, and I'm thinking of doing one. There's a nature trail up near my cottages. There are nature trails all over the place. I was thinking of just organizing one, for people that want to get together. There seem to be some people up that way, and hey, you want to do a nature walk. Sometimes you're not inclined to go out, just on your own. But if there's a group of people going, you might be more inclined to, gather up your stuff and say, yeah, I'm going to go meet up with these guys. It's going to be, an event, and then you go somewhere and, you have lunch or coffee or, a beer. Some people don't drink, so most of the places, you want to have them family friendly in case, people bring their kids.
Right. And then, of course, there's the things that we've done where we go to Camp 30, or anytime I'm involved, it usually tends to be a lot of either raccoon poo or broken glass or something.
Well, we won't talk about those because that's break and enter. And breaking the law is generally not a good idea to encourage other people and be the leader of breaking the law and post it on a community.
Politically correct. Listen to you.
Where, I mean, if you get busted by the cops, they can trace it back and find out that, yes, you were planning this in advance. You just didn't happen to drive by and find it.
And that's the big difference. When you're planning a photo walk, obviously you want to have it a very accessible area. You want to have to make sure, like Darren says, if people want to bring their kids, it's safe. I think Fairy Lake is a great area to have a photo walk, because then you can, like you say, you can walk up Main Street when you're done. And it's very, classic small town Ontario Main Street. It's a beautiful street, lots of things to take pictures of. The community center's behind there too. So I love Newmarket, so of course I'm going to boast a little bit about what we have to offer here. But there's a lot of other really great places. Maureen says she tried to get the girly clickers together at Kensington. There seems to be a group of ladies who are in our community who just go shooting with each other now, which is awesome. So Maureen calls her the girly clickers at Kensington Market. Kensington's in Toronto. Really interesting place. Somebody got shot there a little while ago, I think.
That's very, very rare for the Kensington Market area.
It is, but since I've said it, everybody will think it's a common occurrence now. So,
I mean, I've
just made the tourism of Kensington Market decline.
There's a lot of shooting up in and around Toronto.
Yes, but we don't condone that either. So,
Daytripper Photo is not responsible for
shooting up during walk through Kensington Market. Rod says the great old stone church at the end of Lake Drive at Jackson's Point was there today. In fact, my mother-in-law got married at that church, and Shelley and I go back there as often as possible. It's beautiful. That whole area is great, walking around Jackson's Landing, Jackson's Point. Beautiful, beautiful area up there.
That's on my plan for this year's photo walk. I'm going to talk to them about getting permission to get into the church, and there's some old buildings, Sybil's Point Provincial Park. And I found a place to park that makes it walkable, so you're not walking for 5 hours just to get to your car or to get somewhere. and don't have to pay. Otherwise, you got to pay a park permit fee. Because I found, I tried to find out about going into the park. It's off season, but still, you have to buy a park permit. There is no exceptions.
Right.
So I found a place locally that we can park, walk up, go see the church, go into the park, and then come, back to the cars again. So I got an idea going for that for the Scott Kelby walk in November.
That sounds good. When is the Kelby walk this year? Do you know?
I'm not sure. Last year it was November, and I think he should, sort of take consideration of things going on around the world, and where the weather's changing in one place and changing in another place. Maybe you want to sort of hit something down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
So for North America, maybe a little bit earlier.
Either I'll be going to yours or I'll be making my own. I've got a new route actually where I'm going to be doing my own photo walk. It's in the Estonian village in Eudora. There seems to be over 50 kilometers of amazing nature trails. So I've just created one in Maureen's house. And thank you, Maureen, for the offer. That's very kind. Lots of cool places to have walks and all that kind of stuff. Blake, you're distracting me now. He just sent me some news from dpreview.com. Squirrel. All right, back on topic here. Mark is a true rebel. Mark is blatantly flaunting right now. He says, "You're not going to catch me, copper. Remember, you don't need to run faster than the police, only faster than the slowest photographer."
Yeah, but I mean, if you're the guy that posted it on Google Plus, don't worry about running.
Yeah, really. You don't have to run anyway. They'll find you.
Yeah, they know where you are.
All right, so photo walks are a lot of fun. They can give you a lot of help, but what I find is the best about a photo walk is the conversation and the people you're going to meet. I don't think people should ever be intimidated going to a photo walk. I know that I've talked to a few people. They say, just like joining in our day trips, they're intimidated because they think there's such a high level of photographer and it's going to be all over their head, where really the whole point of Daytripper is to get everybody comfortable with their camera. It doesn't matter your level of experience. So a photo walk is very much like that. You should be able to just go and have a good time. I remember Don Komarechka was talking about how on one photo walk he brought his huge 4x5 bellows film camera, and he's walking around the whole photo walk with this huge, what did he say that was, like 60 pounds or something like that. He says he took maybe 5 photos. I don't know the exact numbers, Don. If you're watching, you can let us know. But yeah, a lot of this is for conversation. So you bring this really neat camera, and you end up talking about what you're going to do with it and how it works, and educating other people on the history of photography.
I don't know if he went out to educate. I think he just went out to use the camera as an excuse to go out. Because like I said, a lot of times it's hard to find the motivation to go out yourself and do something. But you get a group of people together, and then even if it rains, you're all together. You're laughing, you're having fun, you're kidding around. You see street people. Oh wait, no, that's not street people. That's no, it's not Jennifer. Is it Jen? No.
I'll just let you think about that.
Well, just let me think about that. I'm trying to find the photo that she shared with this, and I can't find it. I'll have to go into her stream. But yeah, all sorts of people went out on the photo walk, and you could get shot by someone like this.
Oh yeah, is that Lena?
Yes, it is.
I love her attire. I mean, she's got a nice fancy summer dress and absolutely the beefiest hiking boots possible.
Yeah, it's right foot attire, and she was probably nice and cool. It was a warm day.
She's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Great photographer too. Very artistic, and that's something else that I like about Photowalks is you get to see what other people are doing when they shoot. As an example, I was at the Henry's Exposure Show this past weekend. It was a lot of fun, very, very busy, 3 days of madness. If you haven't been to a Henry's Exposure Show, do yourselves a favor. Next May, look into it, because if you like photography, there's something for everybody. There's things to shoot. I mean, what I was getting at was there was this little farm area. They had roosters, they had all these little animals, and they had a little kangaroo. Weird, random. So here I am walking up there to take a picture, and of course everybody standing around there has their cell phones. They're standing over the fence taking pictures of these kangaroo and all these little animals, and they're all standing in the same line taking these pictures. I'm thinking, what's wrong with you people? In fact, I even said it out loud. I said, what's wrong with you people? You're all taking pictures from the exact same place. Why don't you get down low? Why don't you move to the side? Why don't you try something different? So I got down low. I put my camera, my phone, right at the very bottom of the fence, and within a second, the kangaroo walked right over to me, saw my phone, and started looking straight into my phone, and got a picture kind of like this of a kangaroo. Very weird. Baby kangaroo. Very fun. Darren, what are you showing?
This is the photo that Jennifer, it was Jennifer.
Jennifer Walton, yes.
Yes, that Jennifer got. She found it hard to get back up again after I went to give her a hand. She had already started to get up by then. Easy to get down, not so hard, not so easy to get back up. So this was the shot that she took.
Oh, wow.
The EXIF information isn't there. Because I was curious to find out the shutter speed, because this is handheld, right? She's not using a tripod.
Yeah, but Jennifer can handhold 1 second exposures. She's a zombie.
She doesn't have a heartbeat or any trembling in her muscles. They're like made of steel.
In fact, we joke about that at the camera club.
Yeah.
She is the unbelievable with holding for long exposures. I've never seen anything like it.
So, that was a really great perspective. At that point, I was kind of worried about the time. I wanted to have something to eat before I, headed out. But, she took the time and lay down, and she got the shot.
And that's the thing about a photo walk is you can do that. You can take your time. You can really, find your groove. And I should correct, Blake has mentioned that wasn't Lena in that photo. That was Jess, James Clifford's wife.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah. Lena was wearing the greenish top, I believe.
Well, we didn't see that photo, so nobody knows what you're talking about.
Okay. So right. This was how Jennifer saw it, and then it's amazing because different people will see things different ways, and this is what I saw. So I just took a different perspective, up a little bit higher, getting the name of the park in and the fountain just off to the side.
It's interesting. When you see different styles of each photographer and you start to open your eyes to, hey, I could lay down too, or hey, I should look at it from that perspective. I remember there's a time that I was out shooting with some folks and I looked over and I saw an angle that somebody was getting and I kind of visualized what would that shot be like, and I thought, yeah, but wouldn't it be better if we looked from this side? And so I'm really combining what they're trying to do and my own twist to it, and you're really able to, like I say, you can take your time and you can go to that right composition and really make the photo the way you want to make it. I want to partake in more photo walks for sure. I haven't done nearly enough of them. I've done 2 so far, and I want to have at least, done 4.
Oh, don't want to. Just do it.
Just do it. Actually, you know what? We should have our own Daytripper.
Hard when you work, though. You're working retail, and you have to work Saturdays and Sundays, and that's when a lot of people, and they have their time off. And
that's exactly right. And Saturdays are usually when I see these photo walks taking place, and it's frustrating. But, this year we'll do a Daytripper photo walk. How about that? We'll plan it ourselves, and we'll make it happen. Just a nice, casual photo walk.
A photo walk is about people getting together and taking photos. Daytripper is about training people about photography and bringing them to some unique photographic locations, or bringing people in, like in our birding session that we have coming up, where we're hiring someone to bring birds to fly around so that we can shoot them. Take pictures of them.
Glad you stipulated that. No, it's absolutely true. I mean, if we were to do a photo walk, it wouldn't be a standard Daytripper photo session. It would be just, going on a safe walk through town somewhere.
And I would say that would be one of the differences, is that it's a loosely organized walk by an individual, not a company organizing. Daytripper Photo is a company. So, I mean, if you wanted to lead a photo walk, that would sort of be conflicting with what you do, right? But if Gabriel wanted to do a photo walk, or I wanted to lead a photo walk, that's not so conflicting because we just are helpers on Daytripper.
Hey, don't give me your rules, man.
As I see it.
I will worry about it later. Kathleen, thank you. You say that the Kelby Worldwide Photo Walk is going to be in October. No date is set yet, so that's good to know. Blake says he was talking with Ron Clifford. He mentioned the larger walks, and apparently maps set meet points and times. It could be all day, so it could be like lunch and dinner. So there's photo walks anywhere from short couple-hour walks to a full-day thing, which is pretty crazy.
I'm giving you the gears.
The gears. Oh God, here we go. Ew.
Everybody got a shot of this in some way.
That is the greasiest, slimy-looking gear I've ever seen.
It is, and that's right next to my happy face.
Your happy face.
The rusty happy face that I posted up. But this is a real live railway bridge. I climbed up on top. It is occasionally used. So for the most part, they leave the swing bridge. It's a swing bridge railway. And for the most part, they leave it so that boats can go across. But when the trains come, then they will put it into place, and it's used by some of the manufacturing places in the Peterborough area. I don't live in Peterborough, so I couldn't tell you who is using it. But the that gear travels all the way, the whole length of the bridge, and there's a motor in the middle, and it turns the gears at both ends. You know, so the scale of this is just incredibly huge.
Huh. It's a neat place.
What it does, yeah.
Oh, we'll have to do something. It's a lot of fun, and I think it's great going out with people, and that's why occasionally I do like to just kind of say, hey guys, let's go shoot something somewhere, just because it. I mean, yes, Daytripper Photo is to teach photography, but on these day trips, I mean, the last time we went to Algonquin Park there, and I took like 35 photos, I think. All the rest were what not to do. What happens if it's a slow shutter speed? You get this. What happens if it's a too fast a shutter speed? You get this, and so on and so forth. So most of the times on day trips, I don't really get to shoot much for myself. So if we did a photo walk, that would just be, hey, don't bug me. Talk to the hand. Just like that.
You'd probably still be helping people out.
I know, I would too. I'm just bad like that.
But you'd have to try to rein that in and shoot for you. Right? Go for you. Put on a mask. Go on a photo walk where people don't know you.
Yeah, I'll go somewhere up in Sutton or Sudbury or something. It's funny. One of the things I've noticed that I have happened to me if I'm around a lot of other photographers that I might respect and admire, I find myself kind of sitting back and not shooting, more watching what everybody else does. I went out with Ron and Blake and Gary that you were out with, and a few of the other people in our community, Hark and so on, and really great photographers and people that I've watched on Google Plus and thought, my God, these are like really cool guys, and here they are right in front of me. You know, it was the coolest thing. So I actually found myself not shooting. I didn't really take very many photos, and I was watching everybody else, and some people were taking pictures of ice with flame coming off of it and some really cool stuff. They then went into a barn and did some portraiture, and I couldn't find myself shooting. It's like an intimidation factor. Do you find that happens to you, Darren, or when you get out with a group like this, are you just totally zoned in and ready to shoot?
No, I just look at it as it's going to be a fun time. There's some things that I'll have in mind that I want to do. Something that I haven't tried in a while, or some photos that I've taken in the past, certain angles or certain types of photos that I haven't been happy with, so I want to focus a little bit on that. On the Peterborough walk, I brought my tripod along because I wanted to use the neutral density filter and try to put in, I want to do a twofer, right, 2 for 1, or a BOGO, buy one, get one. I wanted a BOGO. And I wanted to use a neutral density filter and also use Google's Auto Awesome to create, stitching those photos together.
Oh, right. Can you share that?
Yeah, if I can find
Maybe
it.
you can keep on talking about the experience and I'll find it for you.
If I can find it in the stream, because I got so many screens open right now. But I wanted to use the neutral density filter and get some photos of the locks opening and closing, or the lift lock going up and down, to try to show slow shutter speed, slowing motion of the lift lock as it's coming up or as it's coming down. And found a good spot, and then when I was doing it, just on the spur of the moment, I thought, hey, if I change the density of the neutral density filter at a certain point during the way, I can make it look like it's suddenly changing speed, speeding up and slowing down. And I would have liked to have stayed longer and waited for the locks to go again, just to try to refine that a little bit more, because it's kind of hard to see in the camera with the daylight and when it's not stitched together of what it's going to look like, and I was bouncing the camera around was doing it. In the GIF file that it created,
Here we go. I found it.
You can't really notice it, but that was just some fun that I had. That's what I had envisioned, and that was the reason why I carted a tripod around with me all day.
So you actually planned on taking this photo before you even went?
Yes.
So here you go. Explain what we're seeing here.
So as one lock goes down, the other lock goes up. The upper lock takes on about a foot of water extra, which makes the upper chamber heavier, and as gravity brings it down and lifts the other one up.
Very cool.
The left-hand one was the one that was going down. So when it just plays and repeats itself. And then I used faster shutter speeds at the end to sort of slow it down. And then I think I sort of goofed up the camera, and I wasn't shooting. Something happened that I didn't get the right setting. But
that's really good.
It was fun. And then I've got a single image that I've used where they're just sort of passing each other part way.
And I think I saw that there as well. Marjorie, thank you for sharing that as well. I just found it about a half a second before you posted it to me. And Lori finds that she has the same thing happen. She takes her a while to settle in while shooting with a group. Maybe that's just some personalities, you know, you kind of sit back a little bit and watch how things go and see if you can find your own vibe. That's kind of how I roll. Unless I'm leading, if I'm teaching or if I'm running a day trip, I always seem to feel very comfortable.
And Marjorie was a hoot. She with her daughter, and we were kibitzing around, having fun.
Do you just say you're kissing around?
Kibitzing.
Oh.
Kibitzing.
Gotcha. Just making sure. Because you're a married guy.
She's a married gal.
Well, hey, I'm just looking out.
Hey, but wait a minute. If she's married and I'm married, then it wouldn't be.
Okay, Natalia, she says she's trying to see our show live. She doesn't know what to do. Well, she said that right in the event chat. If she were to click on the event and then click that big button right in the middle, she'd watch us. So, 2 clicks and you found us there, Natalia. Besides, say so. And Maureen, thank you for the offer. We'll make something happen, and we'll come out to that beautiful place. We may not be able to get there when the chestnut tree is blooming, but we'll see what we can do.
Oh, I went on another photo walk that you might not have been too much aware of, and that was led by Mike.
How was all this me not being aware of photo walks? What's with that?
Mike just sort of sent me a chat, said, "Hey, you going to shoot the meteor shower?" At the time, I was kind of, I don't know, I don't think so. And then he said
Fernando was there.
He invited Fernando. I said, well, I got some photos to finish up editing, so yeah, maybe I'll head out. And this was Friday night before the Saturday or Sunday photo walk. And yeah, we went out to Sutton to try to shoot the meteor shower. I saw 2 meteors, none of them caught by the camera.
Fernando had a really cool one. It looked like a sonic boom in the middle.
I think he had a lot of satellites.
Oh, well, you never know. The satellites would blink. These are streaks.
Yeah, satellites are streaks. And then there's one where the brightest spot of the meteor is in the middle of the streak. That's definitely a satellite, which is still cool.
I thought that was the sonic boom. Coming into our atmosphere. I had a whole story.
Yeah, we were waiting for one to splash down in the water, and I said, well, let's just hope it's not one like there was in Tunguska up in Siberia that hit. I said, because if that hit, near Aurelia, I think we'd be wiped out here too.
That's not good. When did that happen?
It's 1918.
Oh, you worry about this old stuff.
Yeah, but I mean that one that happened in Russia, they didn't even see it coming.
Well, that's because it was 1918. They didn't have eyeballs back then.
They didn't have car dash cams.
Yeah, right. I was funny. My grandmother, I'm kind of squirreling a little bit here. My grandmother was 100 years old when she passed away, and she told us all these stories when she was a kid, and I did some research, and just in one generation away, the changes that have happened in our lives to the point where, we could do these photo walks now. You can just grab your little digital camera and off you go. It's amazing what you can do.
Yeah, the house I was shooting today, there was an older gentleman in there. He was 83, and He's kidding around, saying he's not going to be around much longer. Which, you know, if you're 83, I guess that may be true. But you never know. Look at Hazel McCallion; she's still kicking.
Yeah, she is too, and she's kicking.
There was a photo of a golf course that he had in his basement, and I said, "Hey, is that the Treehaven golf course? You know, did it change names?" And he said, "No, that's the one that's up on Warden." And I said, "Oh, well, I photographed the Treehaven Golf Club." And he said, "Is that the one on Highway 11, just north of Barrie, south of Aurelia?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "I looked at buying that one time." I said, "Well, it's for sale now." He says, "No, I was going to buy it with my brother-in-law, and he's passed away, and I'm 83, so it's for sale."
Yeah, it probably could have got it a lot cheaper back then too.
No, he said that they probably still today you can't do because the municipality won't allow it. He wanted to buy up the land and have the frontage right on Highway 11. There's about 200 feet of frontage that he can't get. You can't get. That's only somebody else rather than.
Now, I know there's been a lot of people lately that I've met that are buying these places in really remote areas and getting back to nature and so on. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. That's totally what I would do. Squirrel. Blake says, Darren was just starting his photography career in 1918. Is that true, Darren?
No, I don't even think my dad was thinking about or my granddad was thinking about my dad in 1918.
What are you showing us here, Darren?
Oh, you were just talking about, back in 1918. This is from one of Kathleen's photos. One of the old, the way the old houses used to be built.
Yeah, well, they're still standing too, aren't they?
They are. Well, I mean, more or less.
I mean, we have a windstorm here and my shed takes a dive.
Did it?
Oh yeah, I had to build a whole new shed. Didn't you watch the time lapse?
Oh, okay, that's the new shed. Hopefully,
the new shed's just fine. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mark says he had to launch the live video through YouTube on his iPad. He only has the Q&A and a pic of 4 fellas on a photo walk on his Google Chrome browser showing on his laptop. I guess he's using up all the polar bear bandwidth tonight. That was his comment, not mine, by the way. Mark's awesome. All right, so back to our conversation. We've talked about photo walks. We talked about why people go on photo walks. Now, who are generally the people that do these photo walks, Darren? Are they always like pretty seasoned photographers?
No, I don't think they have to be. It's just people who are good at organizing are generally going to be the people that are going to lead these things. So you don't have to be a great photographer. You just have to be a good organizer.
Or at least know a good organizer that you can kind of latch onto that photo walk.
Yeah, and I think Google Plus has really helped that. There's more and more of them. Social media is helping. Not just Google Plus, but social media and all its forms is helping launch a lot more photo walks, a lot more photographers. And there's something cool about seeing, a gaggle of photographers. What is it you call a group of photographers, anyways?
I think gaggle's perfect.
A Google of photographers.
A Google.
A roll of photographers. No, wait a minute. The newer kids wouldn't understand a roll of photographers.
Let's hear from our audience. Let's hear from our viewers. What do you think a group of photographers should be called that are on a photo walk?
An ISO of photographers, a shutter of photographers.
Shutter. I hope not an aperture of photographers. That's just awkward. You're just reaching now.
Yeah, shutter of photographers. Yeah, shutter of photographers went walking by.
I was okay. When I'm typing shutter on my texts or whatever, okay, am I the only person out there that always writes shitter instead of shutter? Every single time I have to fix it.
It's just you.
Just me. And then I actually typed it to somebody earlier today, and they caught me on it, and I was like, oh man, it slipped through.
You and the I are very close to each other on the keyboard. They're right beside each other, so yeah, it could happen.
The shitter just slipped right through. What can you do? Anyway, if you're watching and you want to tell us what you think a group of photographers on a photo walk should be called, let us know. Maybe we can get this entered into the Webster's Dictionary.
Maybe we can make something happen. This show is going to be the way that all groups of photographers in the future will be called.
So take advantage, guys. Q&A.
An asylum of photographers.
Well, it depends on where you're shooting.
Yeah, only Blake and I are involved.
Yeah, exactly. And Mike.
And Mikey.
And Sean. Actually, there's quite a few people we can call that to.
Mike
All right,
shot the meteor showers, and he had to be up at 4 or be up at 4 in the morning. He had to sleep for 20 minutes and make a 4 a.m. shift.
Oh, ouch. A clique.
A clique of
I like that, Fred. A clique of photographers, but not click with a QU, an actual clique. I like that.
That's good.
I'm voting for clique so far. A clique of photographers.
A clique of photographers.
All right, so where are we in the notes? I think we're pretty much done with the Photowalk conversation.
I think we are, unless anyone has any questions that they want to post.
If you are wondering when the next Photowalk would be, then go to photowalk.com, and you can. No, there's no such thing, but there should be, and they're like a global network of Photowalks all in one place.
Yeah, just got to learn how to use Google Maps to create the map route, which is, I think, fairly easy to do.
Absolutely.
Then, you find a route, you figure out how long it's going to take to walk it. You map out the route, and then you create an event in Google. Link it to the map, and have a meeting place, and then have an ending place. And
make it so.
Make it
tell
so.
us about it, because maybe we'll go.
That's right.
It doesn't hurt. Just because we sell day trips doesn't mean that we don't like going shooting with everybody. Right?
He shoots. He shoots again. That one didn't work. He shoots again.
He chips. Ooh, ooh, ooh. All right. So thank you, everybody, for joining in our conversation so far. Really appreciate it. And if remember, so far, just because we like clique of photographers doesn't mean that that's going to be the final be-all and end-all. So if you have a better idea for what you think a group of photographers on a photo walk are called, go ahead and share it with us. We're going to move on to our photo challenge. We've had some really great photos come in from our photo challenge, and of course there were some photos that were shot like a while ago. We've settled all that issue, and that's all been taken care of. We had to kill 1 or 2 people, but we moved past it. I do want to mention one thing. There's some folks in our community who feel that you have to have a very high-end SLR to be an active member in our photo challenge. I would love to say you don't. It can be any camera. So many point and shoots give you manual controls. It could be a cell phone. It could be a point and shoot. It doesn't matter. Make a photo that represents our photo challenge theme, and we'll talk about it. But I would like to ask, be sensitive to what potentially you are posting. Sometimes there are certain topics that are shared that some people might feel offended by or not necessarily appreciate in the same way or that it was intended originally. So before you post your photo for our photo challenge, just remember, this is something that is being seen live when we talk about these photos, and we want to make sure that it doesn't have to be an over 18 crowd or disrespectful to certain groups. So just one quick little thing I had to throw out there. We got a lot of questions in the Q&A. I'm just going to go through this in just 1 second. Gary Monroe pipes up. He says, map out a route, time it, then multiply it by 4 to get the time. That's a good tip, actually, because when you're out actually walking on a photo trip, you're not just going click and moving on. You're taking your time. You're experiencing different things. So it does take a lot longer than what the map would actually just tell you if you choose to walk.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And if you have 4 people, I think the timing will be different than if you have 8 people. Right? If you have 12 people, it's going to take even longer, right? Because there's, people going to straggle, and other people are going to say, "Hey, that's cool, but I want to try it from this angle."
Right. Oh, hey, hang on 1 more minute. I want to try this too. It happens.
And then, oh, hey, you with the red suspenders, can you get the heck out of my way so I can get a picture of this train bridge without you sticking out like a sore thumb in my shot?
Oh, that's going to be a black and white photo for sure. Gary Monroe pipes up as well. He says the group of photographers is a trouble, especially the groups that we know, Gary. Yeah, definitely. Julie says the walking clickers. There's a good one, kind of like the Walking Dead. At least, again, this is my kind of group. A gaggle of clickers. Again, gaggle. I think gaggle's great. Now we're combining gaggle and clicker. That's from Maureen. Mark says he just posted his hot sauce garden picture, which was taken with a cell phone. Thank you. There you go. That's a spirit. And ants and bees in a group are both called swarms in groups. Since we're all shutterbugs, I think a swarm of photographers fits. Yeah, it does too. A swarm of photographers. I think you'd have to have a lot of photographers to be considered a swarm, though. Just a thought. I think that would be more than 20.
It could be.
Yes.
And then here's what I was referring to about, some guy in red suspenders getting in the way.
Is that you?
That's me.
Oh. It kind of works, though. Your suspenders, the lines almost match with the bridge lines.
Yeah, I held my camera up over my head to try to get the perspective looking down the rails. Photo didn't work out because I was too close. I needed to be back about 10 feet because the rails were too wide, too far apart. But yeah, you live, you learn, you try again next time.
And that's the thing as well about a photo walk, is not every photo you shoot is going to be perfect.
Yeah, and this is from Marjorie's daughter, Katie. This was her shot.
Of you. And you get a lot of photos of yourself on Photowalks. All right, let's go through the photo challenge photos. This week's photo challenge theme, Rod says a group of 3 photographers is a tripod. A tri-click. Who knows?
A pod of photographers.
So I want to point out one photographer, and it's the photo that's right in front of you. This is why I was mentioning you could use any camera you like. Elizabeth Barnes is an amazing woman. She loves photography. She's got a great passion for it. I see her at the store regularly, and she made this shot doing light painting. And she was using a Fuji point-and-shoot camera. This is what she's had up until recently. The Fuji point-and-shoot, she didn't know how to change the shutter speed. She didn't know how to adjust that setting, so she came by the store, and I showed her how to do it. And she went home and she made this. And you know what? Good on you. The photo's fantastic. It's nice and clear. You got exactly what you were looking for, I'm sure. And you even tried layering. You brought a second photo in for your second photo and merged one over the other. And that's a lot of fun to try if you haven't done that kind of thing before. So kudos, Elizabeth. Good for you for trying something that you haven't done before. And coming in and taking the effort to learn how to control your shutter speed. You knew what you wanted to do. You just didn't know how to do it. So
yeah, light painting is a lot of fun.
It is. Joe LeDuc does a lot of it. He does a great job. I've seen a lot of folks on our camera club posting light painting photos, and of course we've done classes on how to do light painting as well. So one of the sessions we're going to have at our academy is macro with light painting. So that's definitely a hot topic.
And we're going to have a really cool Bring on the Night light painting workshop for Daytripper photographers. We're going to post a photo when we get things together. It's still in the research and development stage, but just wait. There's going to be something cool that people are going to want to shoot.
I've been waiting for this. Is it coming closer?
You're still going to be waiting, but it'll be coming.
All right, cool. Anyway, we'll talk more about that another time. But let's go over our photo challenge. Okay, the photo challenge this week was
hard. Hardly.
And I don't think it was too hard for a lot of people because there were some really cool shots. Mike has some shots there. He took these last August, so they don't really apply, but they're hard to shoot. Hard burnout.
Hard takeoff.
Hard takeoff, yeah.
And no EXIF information. There's a lot of programs and a lot of ways of doing things in some programs, like Photoshop Elements, for example. Save to Web strips out all the EXIF information.
Right.
But yeah, some pretty cool shots. Told me how he got those. He's going back again this year to get some more. And the rocket car.
Sorry, go ahead.
He said that thing was incredibly loud.
Oh, I bet. Those things are ear-piercing. Mark posted a photo afterward of a truck.
Yeah, same idea. A jet or rocket-powered, jet-powered truck.
That's something I want to definitely do. Choose my seating properly, and then get the panning shot as it goes by, so I have the blur and the sharpness and all that kind of stuff. Rod loves Mike's cars from the Bend.
Yeah, they're good stuff.
Unfortunately, they don't qualify.
Unfortunately.
But they will when they're new. And here's Lori's shot. She says, it's hard not to smile when you see this guy.
Yeah, you know why he's smiling? Because your fly's open.
Oh, God. Now,
Made you look.
Made you like, or something. I I hate to say it, I'm scared of clowns. So this photo
God.
is creeping me right out.
You like zombies and you're scared of clowns. Oh,
Yeah,
kiddo.
zombie clowns. That's where it's really cool. That's where you get in a real shock.
Well, look, we've already seen Kathleen's hard photos, hard life.
It would have been a hard life back in the day. Original pioneers.
Yeah, the carrying all the rocks and making cement. Hard life, hard end, is what she said.
That's for sure. Awesome. And Terry's got some.
Hard-working horses.
This is a pull. Horse pull.
Horse pull. He said. Where did he say that he took this from? No, it just says horses hard at work.
There you go.
I don't know why Google puts these things in here twice. I think when somebody makes a comment on it, it pops up a second time.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that at the Camera Club last night. Weird
Yeah.
things that happen. All right, I'll scroll up and let's have a look at some of the other ones up above.
Sometimes it's just hard to find the right place.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I love
And
this shot here. Jordan's. It's very cute.
hard not to stand out. Is that what he said? Hard not to stand out?
I think he had it on the other photo above.
When yeah, it's hard to stand out from the crowd and really shine when you have lots of brothers and sisters. So you just have to be at the right place at the right time. So this little guy, he stole the sunlight.
That's right. There's a Rush song about trees that reminds me of that, but that's a whole different thing.
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He got an odd number, so that's perfect.
Ah, rule of odds.
Rule of odds.
Blake says he doesn't think Ross would be smiling at the clown.
Whoops. I double-clicked, sorry. Double-clicked on something. Hard to train the dog to do this. Actually, probably not. Dogs will work for treats.
I'd like to shoot one of those events. It's a lot of fun. I love shooting the dog jumping events when they jump into pools.
Yeah.
They're so funny.
I like shooting the hot dog events.
A hot dog. It's an eating contest. Terry says the Schaumburg Fair horse pull is where those photos were from.
You see, you got to travel up to Schaumburg. There's so much good stuff going up that way. Apparently, yeah.
And this one really caught me. I'm a sucker for animals, you know, and it's a really sad story about this poor dog.
Yeah,
half of his nose is gone.
People abusing animals is just not a nice thing.
She's not abusing this animal. Of course,
No.
She's a sweet little kid that's having fun with this little animal. But what was the caption for this?
Hard life so far for this little guy. Found in a dumpster. Someone hacked most of his nose and tail off, but still this amazing puppy attitude. So kind of ignores what somebody did to him and still is nice, still likes humans.
It's hard to believe someone could do something so horrible.
Yes.
It is. It's disgusting. I'm going to go off on a little tangent if I'm not careful, because I'm really not a big fan of humans sometimes.
Okay, so we'll look at...
Now this has all the look of hard, but it's also a very hard angle to shoot from.
It's hard to shoot black trains and get details on them.
It looks like it's indoor as well, so
Looks like it may have been at the Roundhouse.
maybe, yeah.
So playing with different effects and Photoshop elements. He says, man, this post-editing stuff is hard.
I love the editing side of photography. I love it. Cool shot.
Cool shot. And Mark, studying.
So, what did you think about this shot?
Which shot?
The studying.
This studying shot? I thought it was, kind of cool. But then when I saw this studying shot, I went, ooh, this is possibly sending a bad message.
Yeah, we have to be careful with that, right?
Yeah, studying in college and a lot of drinking going on and drinking from the bottle, and people may think that it's okay to be chugging from the bottle while you're studying, and we know this is a posed and set up shot, but there's some people out there that'll just take this as license to, yeah, that's the way studying in university should be.
Next thing you know, they'll be driving around Santa Monica shooting people. And
oh yeah, don't go down that road.
that was just not good. Oh, Rod says that was at the Roundhouse and outside. So you were right.
Yeah, I thought so. Not too many places you can hide locomotives these days.
That's funny because it's true. All right, moving on.
Moving on. It's hard to get to work when there's so much traffic.
But that's good traffic. You know, it's funny. If I was standing at an intersection or parked at an intersection waiting to cross, and a bunch of kids were to start walking by the car, I'd get so frustrated. I'd be honking my horn. Get out of the way, kids! But little ducks like this? I could wait.
Yeah, but, you know...
Actually, they're not ducks. They're geese. I should probably...
If you didn't know, and suddenly you're driving along, you know, a woodbine at 80 kilometers an hour, and somebody slams on their brakes, and you're not used to that or expecting that, you know, you could get into a precarious situation, and then somebody goes out to pass. What the heck's he stopping for? You know, and these ducks have got to learn to cross at the proper duck crossing. Push the button and point before you cross the road.
Yeah, but if there was a duck crossing, then these guys wouldn't know where to cross because these are geese.
Yes, this is true. We'd have to have a goose crossing and a duck crossing.
And then maybe a moose crossing.
And then a moose crossing. Well, yeah, we could try to get the moose crossings.
Oh, well, good news, good news. Mark says that the wine was non-alcoholic.
Oh.
And yes, it was funny. It was fine. It was just fine. And, you know, there was a photo last night at the Newmarket Camera Club that had a bunch of baby geese, and it was very cute. And my first thought, whenever I see a bunch of baby geese, is, "Aw, it's so cute." My second thought is, I wonder how many of these geese are going to actually make it. There's so many of them. I mean, what, 2 or 3 per batch? Listen to me. Per litter? Is that the right word? Survive? So, yeah, it's a pretty crazy world for those poor little critters, even though they're cute. With little football hats. All right, moving on. So Marjorie was shooting from the hip. It's hard to shoot from the hip.
It is hard to shoot from the hip.
So explain that, shooting from the hip.
I guess she didn't want to let people know what she was doing. So what she did was something like this. If you just hang on a second here, I'll jump out, and then I will jump in. So she was doing something like that. Did it?
Oh, just kind of holding the camera up and quickly getting a shot.
Yeah, so it looks like she was holding it down at waist level so that these, you know, people didn't know that we were taking a. Oh, looks like Justin Bieber. let me switch back to the other screen share.
I'm just impressed everybody's using hand straps.
Yeah, she was quite prepared on that.
Speaking of hand straps, if Lori's watching, I've got your hand strap. Please come by the store and get it from me. Just going to throw it out there.
So yeah, this was one of these grab shots she tried to get, and that's how it goes.
Very cool. Quick and easy. Now, what are the rules as far as that goes on Photowalks? Is like, are you supposed to ask people for permission before you take their photo?
Well, it goes, I guess, back to copyright laws and things, and as long as you're using your photos for, you know, use like this and you're not selling them.
For good, not evil.
Then you don't need to have photo permission.
I see.
But if you were wanting to sell these photos and make money off of them, then you would be well advised to get a release, because no one is going to buy it if you don't have the release.
Right.
And if the person sees that, you know, they're in it and you have used it, then they could sue you. But most companies won't accept the photo if there isn't a release, if there's people in it.
That's for sure. On the photo you have up there, am I right in assuming that you took the photo at the exact same time that she did? Because I can see the pupil of that lens. It looks like the aperture's opened up for the shot.
What?
The photo that you're doing in screen share?
Oh, it didn't switch out. Sorry.
No, But it looked like the aperture was open. It looked like you took the picture at the exact same time she took the picture.
No, her aperture wouldn't have been open. It was her. You're just seeing through the viewfinder.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here we go.
Back on track.
Back on track. Sorry. Sorry, Marjorie. I was showing your other photos here. So shooting from the hip.
No, that's not how I gave you those.
Oh, well, it works.
The only thing you have to watch out for in some areas, I guess if you're in downtown Toronto with a group of kids like this, is you never know if somebody's on drugs, right? Or somebody's acting a little crazy. No, I'm not saying that to make fun of them. And you could just have some crazy, weird person say, I don't want you taking a picture of me. Give me your camera. And you could get into a scuffle. Yes.
Yeah, that's never a good thing.
And you never know. There are crazy people that could be a guy in a suit could do the same thing. So
I'm going to suggest that if there's ever a photo walk, don't have it go by Tim Hortons. Because I don't know if it's just me, or if it's just maybe Newmarket, but Tim Hortons seems to be where trouble stays.
Nah, we used to hang out at McDonald's before then. That's where trouble was.
And Marjorie loves her hand strap. Is it a cotton carrier hand strap that you're using, Marjorie? Because I know I love them very, very much.
I don't know if it is. She's got the battery grip on it to make it a little bit larger. I think that's 5100 or 3200 or 3000, something like that.
I see. She needs to know the hyperfocal distance.
Yes, and the hyperfocal speed.
So, back on track.
Back on track.
So I've got my 3D glasses on now, so everything looks very 3D.
I can't see it because I got too many screens in the way.
It's just as well. I look pretty goofy.
Okay.
So, what is this all about?
Hard at work.
Does she have to manually open the whole bridge like that?
She's got to walk in a circle. I believe it's 12 times to open the gates and 12 times to close the gates.
Is it hard? Haha, get it? Hard?
Hard. Hardly.
Hard.
I don't know. She's got her legs are in good shape. If there's a lot of traffic, she gets a lot of workout. If there isn't a lot of traffic, she doesn't get to work out too hard. The guys at Lift Lock have it easy. They just sit there and push buttons.
She's got a D5000, Darren.
D5000?
Yep.
Okay.
She just told us. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I knew it was the smaller one. I couldn't remember the number.
Good little camera.
Yeah, and those ones you almost need the grip to make it a little bit bigger.
That's a good point, especially if you have larger hands.
Yeah. Hard finding new members for the flock.
Oh, geez, they'll take anybody these days.
It's almost getting that way. There's a lot of churches that have closed. I've photographed some churches that they've converted into studios and housing, which is kind of sad.
Yep, but church houses that are churches look so cool.
Population's increasing. You would think that there'd be a shortage of churches, but apparently not.
Marjorie says 12 to open, 12 to close, and she was smiling the whole time.
Yeah, that girl, she always had a smile on her face.
That's pretty great. That's a good job, eh? Outside, unless it's raining. That would suck. All right, Rhonda posted a few photos here.
Not hard to hide unless there's a photographer around. Hard to see this guy in all the leaves.
That's what the camouflage is for.
Yeah.
Just don't pick these guys up. They pee all over you. Not cool. Yeah,
but it's really, really interesting when you lick them.
Darren, I'm a little worried about you right now.
Toad licking. Haven't you heard about that?
Yeah, not recently.
I've never tried it. But I heard about it.
Okay, keep up the good work. This one is creeping me out.
It's not a clown.
It's a clown cow.
Yeah, it almost looks like it's a contortionist, part giraffe, part cow.
That is a creepy cow, I'm telling you. Makes me want to eat beef.
Having the patience to wait until the cow does something interesting like this.
A hard itch to scratch is the title. I like that.
Yeah. Thank you for putting the tree there. And then I think there's one more here. Not hard to sing when you have company. I don't think he's singing the butter song.
No. No. It's nice, though. The focus is right on the eyes, right on the nose. They're on the same parallel almost.
Well, what's that commercial that has the singing cow, the cheese?
Laughing Cow.
Laughing cow, yeah, singing
Laughing Cow cheese.
Yeah, laughing cow cheese.
Hey, they're not a sponsor of our show. We can't say their name. Rhonda says she was very itchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see. I'm surprised you didn't get up there and give her a good scratch, though. I mean, I feel bad for the cow. It looks like she's hurting her neck doing that. All right, Terry, what's this that Terry's got for us?
I look at this and all I see are trees, and I'm looking for the forest and I can't find it.
Oh, so he's taking a different approach to this.
Can't find the forest for the trees.
Hard to find the forest for the trees. These glasses are really starting to hurt my brain. I'm taking them off. Sucking my will to live. Okay. Excellent. Thank you, Terry, for submitting this. Great twist on the theme.
Cropped it to make it a panorama shot. Or I did shoot a panorama shot, not sure.
And Phyllis.
Diamonds and pearls.
So Phyllis and Joseph did an interesting twist to the photos this week. Very nice lighting on black backgrounds.
And I think Phyllis is sort of hinting that this 14-karat gold, you can see the 14K on the inside of the band.
Wow, you can. I didn't notice that.
Yeah, she wants a newer one that's 18-karat with a bigger diamond, Joseph.
Don't get anybody in trouble now, Darren. Excellent lighting, very clean.
What we call high key.
Can you fix the photo details?
Fix them?
Or fix. Click the photo details.
I fixed them. 51.8.
F16. There you go. I was like,
F16.
it has to be a very deep depth of field to get that amount of focus in the shot.
Yeah, because there's some depth to it.
And it's a great example of using a 50mm lens for things other than shallow depth of field. It's very flat, very clean.
And a tripod, because I don't care who you are, you can't hand hold and get it that sharp at 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, maybe Jennifer or Barb could do it.
I think even Jennifer would have a hard time at 2.5 seconds. Although you never know.
You never know. You never know. Nice clear shot. And these are the last two?
These are the village people.
Oh, jeez. There's no Indian.
Yes, there is. He's out of frame. You can't see him.
Oh, okay. All right. So that's not successful then. Fred, really cool shot. And I got to tell you, I like this photo for one big reason. The main thing that's in focus is the express bin, and that's the same brand of bin that I just bought when I was tearing down my shed. So I have a sentimental attachment to this garbage bin.
Yeah, but I think the focus is more on the Hyundai than it is on any of the workers.
Well, see, that's where the problem comes. And this is where another point that I think you made during our pre-chat would be to...
Try to isolate one of the workers.
There you go. Explain what you mean by that.
What I mean by that would be more like this photo where there's a single worker, right? And then it draws you into it. If there were other people around, they would be part of the story, but there's the one person working.
Right.
So in his, if he could have had, the focus on this guy here with the wires, foreground on the bottom on the right, have the focus on him, and have everything else blurry, right? Then they're part of the work crew, and the focus is on that guy.
Excellent tip. There you go. And Don says he may be able to handhold that, and I'm not too surprised about that. But Don, you'd probably be using flash, so who knows?
Ice water runs through his veins.
Oh, ice. He's been out in the snow too long. It's cool you're watching, Don. Thank you. And Julie, this is the last photo?
No, there's one or two more.
Oh, two more. Wow. All right, well, we're running low on time, so let's breeze through. Now, this shot here says hard to me. You know what I mean? It's like the processing makes it look hard, and it's obviously very thick steel, and it's a brush, like a wire brush, right? So you can see it's been hard used. It looks very hard from the post-processing. Interesting shot.
It is. Those bristles are hard. Now, you could also look at that and say, well, that's soft plastic from a hairbrush.
That would be a very gross hairbrush.
Well, I mean, it's hard to see the black grease on there unless you look really close.
Yeah, but you can look close, and that's where you probably know it's maybe a toothbrush. I don't know, toothbrush.
Oh.
Somebody. That'd be gross.
Oh, and one more
shot. Again, so this is Joseph's photo, and that's very bright, even color. I love the lighting on the Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, lighting on the Rubik's Cube is great.
But
nice and colorful. It pops. There's two stories going on in this. There's the Rubik's Cube, which in itself is hard, and then there's Scrabble, which is also hard. So is it Scrabble that's hard, or is it the Rubik's Cube that's hard?
I think, like you say, two stories here. If it was the Scrabble pieces, then you could say it's hard to make a lot of points out of one word.
So I guess he was playing around with stuff, and he wanted to see what it would look like, so he threw in the hard just to make sure that we understood that the Rubik's Cube is hard. I don't know. I can do them on a good day in 20 seconds. On a really good day, I can complete those things in 10 seconds. And other than that, it's not really much of a challenge. But
are you serious?
I got swampland to sell you in Florida, if you believe that.
Yeah, right. It's funny because our friend Nabi Noom actually is a very accomplished Rubik's Cube solver.
Yeah, but can she speed do them in like 25 seconds? You see these kids on TV that do it?
I wouldn't say that fast, but she's pretty quick. She's an impressive talent on many fronts. And folks, don't forget, the Navi Noom whipping post is still open on our Daytripper community. So if you have a photo that you want a serious critique on, something that maybe you have a portfolio coming up that you have to have done. Okay. Squirrel. Jeez, that was subtle. I like that. And Julie says, yes, it was a barbecue brush, Darren.
It wasn't a toothbrush?
No. All right, well, that's excellent. Thank you, everybody, for submitting photos for our photo challenge. And we've chosen our winners, and we still don't really know who it is. So we're going to go with first place will be Phyllis for her Diamonds and Pearls photo. Second place will be... thank you. Lori for her photo, and I'm forgetting the name of Lori's photo right now. Darren, help me out.
The clown?
The clown, yes. And I have to say this was Darren's pick because I don't like clowns. But it was a good photo, so that's cool. And third place is Jordan's photo, Stand Out from the Crowd, the picture of the little goose. I loved it. I thought it was cute. And great lighting on that one. And I like how you used your focus, your depth of field to choose a specific duckling, gooseling, gosling, Ryan Gosling.
To isolate.
To isolate, yes. So thank you, everybody, for sending your photos to us for our photo challenge this week. Again, the challenge was hard, and it looked to not be too hard for everybody. So we're going to try a little different again. We're going to try something that'll make you kind of slow down a little bit, think a little bit more. Hopefully, this week's photo challenge will be lazy. Get her done.
Take a picture of Brian.
Ooh, zing! I'm not lazy, man. I built another garden out there today. A time lapse of that is coming soon.
Yes, you are the furthest thing from lazy.
Well, I don't know if I'm the furthest thing from lazy, but building gardens is a lot of fun. So
every time I see you, you're doing something or running somewhere or jumping somewhere.
At least I'm not getting plastered.
Yeah. Or nailed.
Or nailed, right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching this week. On a final note, before we close the show, I'm going to mention a couple things. First of all, we do have some really great day trips coming up very soon. On June 8th, that is next Sunday, We have our falconry session one more time. I've confirmed with Sam today we are having 8 new birds, actually 7 new birds, and of course the bald eagle, which is the coolest bird on earth. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So we're doing that next coming Sunday, June 8th. You can register for that on daytripperphoto.com. After that, we're going to Niagara Falls. Now, this is going to be a really neat trip. We're going to Inniskillen to start. And in the wine cellars at Inniskillen, we're going to be doing stock photography and flash photography of all the nice food. We're having a lunch there. They're going to have beautiful food for us, and it's a really rustic, beautiful winery and a wine cellar, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, after that, we're going to Bird Kingdom. We're going to the Skylon Tower, probably walk around Clifton Hill a little bit. Amazing trip. And again, these are teaching classes. This isn't a photo walk. This is a class designed to come out with a real benefit and learn something really interesting. We have photo challenges planned for the day, and of course we will have Sigma lenses for everybody to use as well. So guys, if you're interested in these, check it out, www.daytripperphoto.com. Darren, you have an academy class coming up on June 2nd. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have a hands-on bring your own laptop computer workshop at the Daytripper Academy in Aurora, and it's going to be about selections. And it from the beginning to the advanced. So if you're a beginner or you're an advanced person, I think everybody will learn something, brush up on some skills to do with selections. So I think you mentioned it being about advanced selections, but it's about advancing your knowledge and your learning in selections.
So explain selections. What do you mean by selections?
Well, if you want to select a Rubik's Cube and cut it out and paste it into another image that has some Scrabble tiles, that could be kind of hard to do. But no, just selecting things to either work on them more, to do a creative effect just in that area, to lighten that area, darken that area, to cut it out and paste it into something else. Some things are easy to select, and those things you probably maybe already know how to do. It's the difficult things that are there, or maybe just some ideas or concepts when it comes to selections. Hey, I didn't know you could do that, or wow, you mean I can do this? That's really cool. To bring up your, just make life easier for you when you're working on editing your photos.
So that's June 2nd.
June 2nd, it's Monday, next Monday.
And what time will that be?
This coming Monday at 7 p.m.
7 p.m. So if anybody's interested in that, that is also on the Daytripper Photo website. You can register for that anytime. There's still lots of space for that session, and we can only have 9 people total, plus Darren in the room. So it's a nice small group, and it's going to be very hands-on. So folks, if you want to get some really practical knowledge of how to make selections in Photoshop, or is it Elements or Photoshop that you're doing this in?
Both. It doesn't matter what you have. If you have Photoshop or if you have Elements, there are many things that are similar to both of them, and the things that we're going to be doing will be identical to each. And then if there is something that comes up that somebody wants to know that's just a Photoshop thing or just an Elements thing, by all means I can cover it or talk about it or show them. That's the cool thing about having these small classes.
Mm-hmm.
So photos.
Sorry, go ahead.
Photos will be provided. We'll have some sample photos to provide you, and then you can bring in some of your other photos that you want to work on.
Very cool.
That's nice. We'll show you how to do it, and then you can work on some of your own stuff if you want.
It's only $100. $100 for awesome knowledge that you can use every day. Also, we've had a big loss in the world of literature and poetry and just really good people. Unfortunately, Maya Angelou passed away yesterday or today. Today.
Or
she was
they
86.
announced it today.
Pardon me?
They announced it today.
They announced it today. And, you know, she was 86 years old, and she has done so much for the world, and beautiful, beautiful poems and so on. We thought it was fitting that the quote to close off today's show was a Maya Angelou quote. So the quote is, "People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel." That's Maya Angelou. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And that really relates to photography. If you look at somebody's photograph, it gives you an emotion, it gives you a feeling, and that's why I thought it was fitting to have this as our quote for tonight. So rest in peace, Maya Angelou, and you know, the world has lost a very, very important person. All right, Darren, anything else to add tonight?
No, just grab your camera, go out and shoot some photos this weekend. Supposed to be some nice weather. Or put the camera away and get some yard work done.
Yeah, that's probably what I'll be doing a lot of. And don't forget, the opposite of what I'll be doing is our photo challenge for this week, which is lazy. So make your photos of lazy, post them to the Daytripper community. If you have any questions for photography or for us, get a hold of us, myself, Brian Weiss at Daytripper, or Brian at daytripperphoto.com. And don't forget, guys, that's Brian with a Y in. And Darren, where can folks get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me where it says down at the bottom, Darren at dgvirtualtours.com.
I've been getting a lot of folks coming to me lately and asking about real estate photography and so on. It's not that easy to do. So when you have somebody like Darren who is skilled and experienced and really knowledgeable in real estate photography, that's an asset that you definitely want to tap into. So if anybody needs some help with their selling their house, that's the guy right there.
Or private training. I helped teach through Brian. You brought him to me. You want to know about doing virtual tours. And if he would have tried to find out on the internet, he could have been searching a long time before he found out, the simplicity of it. So I went over and talked to him and explained to him, asked him, found out from him what it is that he specifically wanted to do, and then pointed him in the direction of the equipment that he would need. So if he wants to do, and it turns out he wanted to do the same thing, the full 360 by 360 virtual tours that I do. So I said, well, this lens and this rotator is probably going to be your best bang for the buck, and choice 2 and choice 3. When you order it, if you have any problems, setting it up and making it all work, let me know. I can help you out in that.
Excellent. Just don't do it in this territory, right? Because that's your territory. That's your turf. You've tagged it.
No, I want to go on vacation sometime, so I don't mind finding a replacement for myself. But no, he's a real estate agent. He just wants to do it for himself. So he says.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you, Darren, for being on tonight. And unfortunately, as we said earlier, Gabriel didn't make it on the show tonight. We wish him well, and his wife Trish and their son Jaden. Hopefully, they'll find another place very soon. And meanwhile, they're still living in their place they're living.
So if I understand you correctly, Brian, that this week you've given everybody permission to be lazy?
Yes. Everybody has my permission to be lazy for a photo.
Or do we need to take a picture of somebody being lazy? Or you didn't say that, did you? You just said the theme is lazy.
The theme is lazy. Make it so, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to check out with my 3D glasses now, and I'm gonna. What the hell am I doing? All right. Whoa, scary stuff, kids. No, SCTV moment. I've lived in SCTV. I wish I was on that show. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. We are way over our time. For a full hour and a half with just the two of us. Can you imagine if Gabriel was here tonight? We'd still be talking about all kinds of stuff. Anyway. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the sound effects. And we'll see everybody next week. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Be lazy.